Looking for a place for the whole family? Come down to the Toucan Mall in Amelia's Ward, Linden. It's the mall that has it all. We have great food, a relaxing atmosphere, and activities for all ages: tennis, swimming, and a playground. But the fun doesn't stop after dark. There's even a bar and an arcade. And if you aren't ready to go home yet, we've even got a spacious room for your comfort, complete with air conditioning, Wi Fi, and a private bathroom. The Toucan Mall can also facilitate your event in our spacious conference hall. We also have a theater with films for the entire family. It's the Toucan Mall located in Amelia's Ward, Linden.
All right, I like that. That's launch time, launching time. Good evening to all my friends, relatives, well-wishers, those of you who are happy to see us on the program today. Welcome once again to your health program, your favorite health program on television across Guyana. And today we have Dr. Richard, as usual, who is standing in with me to discuss, hopefully, some calls and sort out some issues you may have. Dr. Richard, welcome
Thank
once
you.
again, as usual.
Thank you for the invite.
I can't believe that it's already March 16 already. Half of the month is gone, and I just look back across my shoulder, and there was February right there. You know, March is already halfway gone, and it's already Thursday.
Yeah.
The week is finished tomorrow. You know, it's really, I don't know if the time is going faster or we're just so busy, or I don't know. It seems strange that everything is happening so quickly. You know,
Yeah. Somebody's swinging, cranking it.
clock is winding faster.
Yeah, moving it.
Man, I guess as you get older, it goes quicker.
Yeah. True. So,
Well, today we're going to try hopefully to get some calls, take some calls, and see if we can answer some questions regarding the topics that we discuss or other things. We plan as we discussed to speak a little bit about cancer and about sexually transmitted diseases, about the immune system and how important it is to keep that going in spite of all that is happening, to keep that enhanced and to keep our systems healthy by eating the right food. Um, that is a sore subject because many persons are not able to get foods out of their gardens. You know, it's not what we want to do because it is better to plant your own than to buy produce in the market. People are saying that the weather is bad, dogs or cats are eating the food, all sorts of things, all
cat.
sorts of things.
Oh,
Dogs and cats.
oh, dog. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, so
they don't
it's
want to eat. They don't want to eat meat. So they don't.
the dogs are getting smart now. They're being vegetarian. They eat vegetables.
Even the dogs can recognize the sign of the time.
Oh, man. So I I'm not sure what to say about this whole thing, but I think people can still plant. I still think that even if you have concrete, you can plant because I know my father did that. He made beds, soil, and made boxes and
Right.
put the
No,
soil inside, and we had produce. We had produce on concrete. So
yeah.
that's not an excuse. The weather is not an excuse either because you need the rain to help to water the plants, and it's not really raining as much anymore. We need the sunshine to help to get the nutrients into the plants.
Mhm.
So I hear the excuses, but I think it's laziness. I
Well,
think
maybe timing.
people are just lazy or they're too busy and they don't want to plan.
It's time. Yeah, I mean, with me, I know it's. I have a lot of land back there to plant, but every so now and then I just do a little something, and it's time. You don't have time. But
But
you got time.
you have to fight. You have to fight the weather. You're dealing with winter and the seasons. You're dealing with the seasons. But where we are, we don't have. We only have two seasons, rain and sun.
But there's
So
people
I
know
don't know
exactly.
if I don't know if the I think it's more priority. If people place more priority on trying to produce, then it could become a hobby, and then out of that hobby could become something that produces food that they can eat.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I am looking at what we see on a daily basis, and we are seeing more and more H. pylori bacteria.
Yeah, too much.
I don't know if you want to comment on that.
Yeah, I mean, I somebody made the statement that Guyana is a H. pylori tongue. I don't know, but I'm
H. pylori country.
country. Yeah, not tongue, country, because it's like it's a common thing, and I find it because I know growing up, I heard it too. People would make the comment that my stomach is hurting me, but every time I eat this food, I use too much spice. There's always a reason for what's happening. But it's not that. You gotta come and check. If your stomach is burning you after you consume something, and it's been doing this for years,
Don't eat it.
don't eat it, and then you need to come and check it out because a lot of people are coming, and I'm finding them they come in too late. I It hurts to tell them, the results of what I'm seeing. You know,
In your opinion, how far can H. pylori go?
how far?
How far I'd like the audience to hear
Well,
where can H. pylori take them if they don't look at it.
yeah, you don't look. First things happen is you get a lot of gas, and you think, man, is that China I eat with all the pepper, you know? And after a while, it starts to happen. You have all the different pathologies in gastritis. You have chronic. Well, the first is acute, and then it becomes very chronic. And what starts to happen is that, especially in the stomach and in the gastroduodenal junction, uh, sores start to develop, called
Ulcers.
ulcers. Yeah. And anytime ulcers develop, well, your body has this rhythm. We all have cancer cells. The cancer cells are all over the place. They're like I was saying to somebody today because not today, but a few days ago, they wanted an explanation like you're asking now. I said that the oncoviruses, B and C, are like the Karen Crow. They're waiting around. They're in every organ of your body, just watching to see what's happening down there. They're looking down. They're high up. They're looking to see exactly what's partaking below. So once the ulcer develops in the duodenal area, then they move in and they start setting up shop. And before you know it, you have cancer. Once they start to multiply and activate the cells, and the cells start to multiply and proliferate,
They become aggressive,
very aggressive.
robust.
Yeah, because they figure this is my territory now. I already invaded. We got it all taken care of. So, and before you know it, you are having cancer.
Do you think that people in Guyana are using too much pepper?
Um, I don't. Pepper is good in some regards, but then, like everything else, water is great in many regards. But you can have water toxicity, intoxication, and that can kill you too. So you have to be moderate. Everything, you know, moderate. Uh, but if you have a problem, a pre-existing condition, a problem with your stomach, you use pepper, you're only making it worse. You know, you're burning things up down there. You know.
And then the other thing is that persons are told that, oh, you have gas and use some ginger tea or use some hot tea.
No,
What do you think of that?
you start cooking things. You're making your body's fighting. I mean, your immune system is fighting as much as you can, but you're bringing in a lot of other. You're producing, you
You're
know,
bringing fuel.
just yeah, and giving the thing fuel. You know, uh, it's so everything at that particular junction, everything good or even everything bad just makes things worse.
What
Because what
about
eventually happens, the person don't even have an appetite, and they're scared because everything now that they eat, it does not only go towards from the duodenum and then goes to the small intestine. A lot of times things trying to go back up, they get reflux, you know, and food, the, the acidic contents trying to go back up in their mouth, you know. It's not good. It's not good. And the stomach is inflamed, and it's full of gas. You're passing a lot of gas and burping, and so the conditions is not good.
what about all the flesh that is eaten, Gano? All the meat. Let's call it meat, flesh, meat.
I, it's everything that's there to me. Not only there, but everywhere. They got H. pylori in it. All the meat, all of the meat, they got that bacteria in it.
They've
That,
got the bacteria
that
inside.
stuff and all that stuff. You know. So it's something that they have to. A lot of times when you have people in that condition, the most difficult thing for them is you give them what their body show them is aggravating the condition as far as foods. They're concerned about whether or not they can still eat fish. You know, I've told them the H. pylori is found in fish, for the most part, a lot more, but it's in every other meat too. And I already go through the whole list of foods, but then a lot of times people still come back and says, "What can I eat?"
What can I eat? Everything I like to eat. You're telling me not to eat it anymore. What can I eat?
Yeah. So you already eat all the meat you can, and look at the results, right? It's getting you in a situation where now you're looking at cancer and lymphoma, you know, it's not good.
You know what I feel, and this is my opinion. I've shared it on many occasions on programs. What I feel at times is the best solution when you have digestive disorders like H. pylori, E. coli, and all that is to go on a fast. Go on a fast and allow the stomach, allow the duodenum, allow the small intestine, allow the body recover, rested from all that food you're eating, from all that cooked up meat and fish and whatever it is, and allow it to, to regenerate new cells. But people are they're so bent in eating that fasting is like death to some of them, you know,
Yeah,
even though it will help them.
yeah. I mean, I would think, yeah, fasting also with detoxing, getting rid of all of the elements, the microorganisms, you know, and it is very difficult to die. They don't die that easy. So you're fasting, they'll be fasting with you. No microorganisms fasting with you. But it's very helpful to give the stomach a rest, give it a good rest. And if you can't handle fasting so much, then you got to give it good nutrition, good nutrition.
The theory that I use on many occasions is that if you're doing the same thing all the time and getting the same results, if you want different results, you cannot keep doing the same thing to get different results.
That's true. You get the same results if you keep doing the same thing. You get the same result.
You know, so I don't know sometimes what else to tell people because you want to see them well, you want to see them overcome their problems. You're doing everything you can to help them,
Mm-hmm.
but yet still, it seems like it's such a big challenge for them to want to get better by just making an adjustment to do the right things. I don't sometimes get it because, and sometimes it frustrates me because I'm saying to them at times, look, if you want to get better, then you would make the changes. If you don't want to get better, then keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, I find that I mean we can't take them and put them in a room and remove them from everything, and we can't do that. But I find it depends on the person, individual. Some people, when you tell them about H. pylori, they're like, well, what is that? And then you go through the process of what it leads to, and then when they get to the ultimate uh, end of what it does, a lot of individuals say this is a wake up call. I got to do something about this.
The ones that care, the
Yeah,
ones
yeah,
that want to really overcome the problem.
yeah. A lot of times people, I mean, as you tell them what's going on, I look at you know how what I'm telling them is affecting the person. I look at some people becomes very hopeless in a sense, and they say a lot of things at that time. Um, they lose all hope, and the spirit is down. But some people come, and the majority of them come knowing that they come in from some other place with a diagnosis, you know, knowing that maybe not knowing exactly what brought them to that point, but they were told that they're you have cancer, basically, you know, and they're knowing that, so they come to us for affirmation and confirmation, you know, and the ones who you can see that they tried they've tried to process it and so forth previously a while. So when you tell them what it is, they come to the conclusion, well, I got to do something about it. You know, um, I have to do something about it. I'm willing. And my question to them: are you willing to fight? Because this is what it is. You come. I know you come to us as a as a
Last
last,
resort.
because you heard of Dr. Joe, how he's helped a lot of people with it. So my question to them is what do you want to do?
Yeah.
And that's a very important question.
Yeah, it's an important question. What do you want to do? Because I was really harsh with someone this morning who came as a last resort and wanted to get results immediately, of
Doesn't work.
course, after being diagnosed with cancer, of course.
Hmm.
And I actually said, because she's looking at the medicines and saying, can this medicine really cure me? Can this, you think this thing can cure me?
Hmm.
And I looked at her and I said, nothing can cure you. Nothing. The body has to heal itself.
Hmm. Hmm.
What we're trying to do is to provide what it needs, what the body needs to assist it in overcoming what is wrong with you so that it can heal itself.
Hmm.
Because the medicines are not going to heal you. The medicines will only facilitate the body's ability to heal.
Right, right, true.
And then she looked up at me and said, okay. I said, okay, where you go? You can go to the golden forest.
Mm.
Even the gold is not going to heal you. The body has to heal itself.
Mm. Mm.
So some people don't understand that drugs don't heal you. You know, the medicines don't heal you. The foods, even the foods that you eat today, don't heal you because it's full of chemicals. It's full of everything. Even that doesn't facilitate the ability of the body to heal itself.
Mm.
You know, I think for the most part, most persons do not understand the process that the body has to go through to overcome diseases.
Mm.
They don't understand. It's like you have to teach them every day. You know, I think we should open a school now because it's like every day you've got to teach people what it means to overcome diseases. It's not happening. It's not happening in institutions. People have gotten to the point where they think that it's the medicine that heals them.
Yeah,
It's the drugs that heal them.
mm.
You
There's
know,
no magic pill, man. No magic pill, no. And you know, I'm very sure all the institutions that they may have gone to tell them that, you know, this is what we're doing, but here are, you know, the complications to this. You know, it caused this, it cause, you know, you have to be open and you have to tell people.
it's not. Sometimes you don't want to do it because you want to let them realize that there's hope. You know, it
Right,
cannot. But yet still, you need to know where you are.
right, right, right.
If you don't know where you are, you can never know where you're going.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's something that the population, the people, wherever they are, need to understand that unless you know, you will never be able to find your way where you want to go.
Right, right.
This is where you are right now. You got H. pylori, okay? You got active cancer cells. You should not consume pepper. You should not consume curry. You should not consume flesh, or it's going to burn the dickens out of your stomach.
Yeah, you, you're cooking things, man.
You're
Yeah,
cooking it more. But
yeah,
Dr. Haynes, I can't cook without fish. I can't eat without pepper. Can't- It's crazy.
yeah.
Crazy.
But you mentioned hope, which is you know, after such a diagnosis, that's very very important. You know, to have hope. You know, if you're hopeless, then you
It's
go.
the end, pretty much.
Yeah, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he.
And then they have these seasonings that are out there. Cook up seasoning, fried rice seasoning, all these seasonings, and we just had power outage. I don't know how long I'm gonna last with the power, but uh,
Oh my.
I hope that we can endure the time because we just had power outage here. But if you lose me, you must know that the system, the
Okay.
backup system went out. If
Oh.
you right,
Yeah.
the technician was to come today to make some connections for us, but he never showed up.
Oh wow.
He never showed up, so that we can have extension to the services that are provided. But he
Mm.
never showed. But let's hope that we can rally out in the time we have. Right, the power outage is all over. It's
Oh
all over.
yeah.
Um, I am in Georgetown, and it's in Georgetown that we have the power outage. You are in Georgia. You don't have power outage there.
I don't like where that is going.
So,
Oh,
oh,
well, I guess your cameras and everything will go down too. Yeah.
at some point, well, I don't know if the studio has power outage. I don't know if they have power outage, but
We in Georgetown, right?
yeah, I am. I am. No, the studio is up. The studio is up.
Huh?
The studio has power. I was
Oh,
just
that's
told by the
power.
operator. But we see what happens. We keep going.
You see what happens.
We keep going.
But
But as I was
you
saying,
mentioned, I just want just to help people who are having this struggle with uh with the diagnosis. You said hope, and they should be, optimistic, and they should be have a fighting spirit. I mean, if they decide to fight, because I always ask the next question is, are you willing to fight? You know, but I found a lot of them that come to come to you. They already know what's going on. They've been told what's going on. So when I ask, are you ready to fight? And they said, that's what I'm here for. You know.
We find some persons who are serious about overcoming their problems. They're willing to fight. They're not going to give up. We've had many persons who, as a matter of fact, I was reminded just this afternoon
Mm,
of someone who came here. This is no joke. Who came here 3 years ago? 2 years ago, not 2 3 years. 2 years ago, came here and was told that she only had 3 days to live.
3 days?
The doctor told her in 3 days she'd be a dead woman.
Wow.
I don't know who gives us that power to do that. Okay.
Mm.
The woman is still alive today.
3 years later?
She's still alive. She came here, and I got it documented somewhere. And we took care. We diagnosed her. She was willing to fight, like you say. She had hope,
Mm.
and she was encouraged by her family. And this is 2 years later. The woman is alive and well and working.
Wow.
Yes, and they gave her with cancer
Mm.
days to live.
Wow.
Okay, so we know that things happen here once persons are willing to fight and the body is able to overcome, because like we said,
Mm.
the body has to be in a position where it has the ability to fight, to live on,
Mm-hmm.
right? Someone asking what happened to a person who doesn't eat meat. Get can they get help? Maybe help.
What happened?
Or I'm looking at a text that was sent to me here.
What
So
question?
ask what happened to a person who doesn't eat meat. Can they get HP? I know what HP is.
H. pylori.
Okay, H. pylori, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of course they can. Of course you can get H. pylori and you don't eat meat. Of course you can.
Mm-hmm.
She said she's a veggie but suffers from gas. Well, if you cook the food the wrong way, if you eat at the wrong time, if you eat the wrong way, if you eat and drink at the same time, if you eat and lay down, all those things,
Mm-hmm.
those are all precursors to giving you gas.
Yeah.
Eat the foods hot, you can get gas. It's
My question to that individual would be, when did you turn vegetarian? Because a lot of people, even though they may have been vegetarians for 20 years, they ate meat before. You know, they were eating meat
she
before.
said she eats a lot of nuts.
Oh, okay. A lot of nuts. Well, nuts give you gas. I mean, that's protein, but it can give you a lot of problems too. But that person, I mean, even though they may have changed their diet, uh, I would still think that they would need to be checked, because you were eating meat. Anytime you might have gotten off of meat. I've seen people who were vegetarian for a long time, and they still have H. pylori.
Sure.
It's in the system. Once you eat meat, it's there. You know.
And it must be known that it's a bacteria.
Yeah, bacteria.
It can happen in food that you cook that is veggie that
Right.
set around and refrigerated or whatever it is. It's a bacteria, so you can even get E. coli bacteria
That's right.
even as a vegetarian.
You can get any bacteria.
You can get worms as a vegetarian. There's
Yeah.
nothing
No.
stops you. It's just that you're not eating the dead meat, but
Yeah.
you can still suffer with things not as bad as the person who consumes the flesh, but you will still suffer with things.
Well, my recommendation to a person like that is to come and get checked.
They got to be screened
Yeah, come
so that
in.
we can detect the reason, and not only the reason, We also need to see if the things, the nuts that they're eating
Yeah,
are are part of what they should be eating, because persons have reaction to different types of nuts.
right. Allergic, and then nuts have fungus in them. So,
Of course,
so that could be another problem there, you
of
know.
course.
Um, but yeah, yeah, you can still be diagnosed with H. pylori if you were a vegetarian. I've seen people who were vegetarian for 20 years, and they have a different lifestyle than they did 20 years ago, but they still have H. pylori that they have to fight. And then a lot of things, people have to be careful. A lot of things in the supermarkets, they have cooked them in with meat. You might not get the roughage, but it's sauteed with sauce or something, some meat derivative. And so I was asked, what if I cook fish in the gravy and take the fish out? Can I still get H. pylori? Yes, you can.
Of course you can. Of course you can.
So, yeah, that person need to come and get screened, most
Yep.
definitely.
What they don't understand too is the screening process that we do here. They don't understand that this is not an X-ray, it's not an ultrasound,
No.
it's not an MRI or a CT. It's a total screening of your body system and its functions.
Hmm.
It's a total screening of your body system and what is happening, what the disease process is that's occurring in your body.
Right.
So we're able to see and link things that are happening from organ to organ, and you will see it yourself when you're screened.
Mm-hmm.
This is not this is not hocus pocus. It's not.
Oh,
Oh,
it is even though we may describe what it is that we're doing. It's hard. The concept is hard to understand. Unless you see it,
yeah.
uh,
Unless you experience it.
experience it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I understand. I mean, I don't blame people because I had that too when I was told about it. It's difficult to analyze, to have a mental picture of what is going on. But look like we lost Dr. Joe there. So I guess I'm the standard, right? I'm still here. So we're talking about what to do after you receive the diagnosis. Something to remember too is that I know, I mean, when you're told something is wrong in one part of the body, you tend to constantly think about that particular thing. You worry about uh, what it is that you're experiencing, and you don't have, you know, from day to night, you have denials and you can't accept the fact that it is. But the most important thing to remember is that, don't I know it's there, but you got to remember that you have other parts of the body that, for the most part, are okay. Okay, got to look at that, and you have to, you know, try not to focus so much on on what the diagnosis is, but you have everything else is still working. They may not be affected in the same way, and so focus on that, and give thanks for those things to be working because uh, your total body, like was asked before, the question was that what's the most important part of a car? What's the most important part of your body? You know, some people would say, well, the most important part of a car is the engine. Well, then I can go and buy you a nice engine and let me see you drive that engine home without with the body to put in, you know. So a car is like it's like a healthy human body. It composed of many many essential parts, not just the part that's not working. So it's important that we we look at take everything, in the proper ratio and proper. Think about it. Don't just be, uh, don't just be depressed and sad about what's happening to you, even though it's not good news. Okay. Now, it's important now when you get that diagnosis that you have a good attitude and a good spirit about what's happening to you. Because if you're depressed all the time, you feel sad, and you actually your immune system is not going to be working properly. We need you need at this point in time, you need your immune system to be working for you. You know, if you psychologically or psych yourself telling you that, well, I have this diagnosis and I'm gonna die, because that's what I know. That's what thought mine. Then you actually lower the part of the body that we need to get going, which is the immune system. You have to have your immune system on par. Okay, so you know, yes, you got a disease, and guess what? If and this is my understanding of my religion, if all of us, uh, if Christ doesn't come back, then all of us are not going to be alive anyway. We don't know 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. So take that information, take what you have as diagnosis, and then be positive about it. Now, what do we do now? There's some important things that we need to understand, and I don't know if I was not here last week, and what Dr. Joe talked about. But cancer loves sugar. Cancer loves sugar, and we need to starve cancer of the sugar. You know, and if you have a lot of sugar, what you're actually doing is providing fuel for the cancer, and then also you are putting yourself at risk for diabetes and heart disease and hypertension. You don't want those things to be added to your diagnosis. So the most important thing initially to do is to get rid of sugar from your diet. And if you're having problems with the sweet tooth, then what you need to do is just start using cinnamon. Cinnamon, use it liberally, because what cinnamon does is to help to stabilize your blood glucose. Okay. Another thing that we need to do is to help you with your sugar, with your sweet tooth and your cravings for sugar, is take chromium and take magnesium. It help you also with the sugar. All right. Cancer is a wasting disease. Okay, it's a wasting disease, and because of what you're experiencing, many times individuals don't have appetite to eat. They don't have no appetite to eat. They don't have a need to eat. They don't have an urge to eat. So what that serves to do is, because you're not putting nutrition in your body and you're not eating, you tend to lose weight. And what the losing of weight it does to you is to prevent you from having uh, vital energy to fight. And you need that nutrition for your immune system to be functioning on par. And the most important thing in your immune system is protein. The immune system loves protein. So please, you gotta eat. Got to eat. Got to eat. You must eat, because if you don't eat, you're starving yourself, and your immune system is not going to be fired up. You need to have a fired up immune system. Okay? So that's why when I speak to individuals, the first thing I tell them is that we got to get your immune system fired up because that is what's going to help you on this situation. Okay? And the backbone, the immune system, I just mentioned it, is protein. Now, a lot of us know that you get protein from meat. Now, I'm not saying you go and eat a whole lot of meat. You have to have healthy protein, very healthy protein, and plant-based. Plant-based. Don't forget the reason why you got the H. pylori to begin with is because of eating meat, fish, and chicken, and beef, and all those things, pork. So you cannot defeat yourself because you eat the fish and the chicken, you put in back more bacteria in your system. So get healthy plant-based protein. Okay? And protein, like I said, is the backbone of your immune system. Now, it's important also to look at I would label them chemo preventative properties in foods. You know, and there's some foods I want to let you know about today that are very helpful for cancer. There's a lot of them, but I just uh, have a few of things I want to mention with you. Berries, berries are important. What the berry does cause the cancer cell to basically commit suicide. There's an acid in berries called ellagic acid, and that acid helps to kill cancer cells. The other food I want you so use berries. You know, you have to use berries. Okay, for that acidic properties, the ellagic acid. The other thing I want to talk to you about is another chemical called lycopenes. Now, these are all chemicals. These are all fight cancer in foods and chemicals that are natural. Tomatoes have a chemical called lycopene. What lycopene does is help to suppress uh, the growth of cancer cells, and it's very, very good for you to consume lycopenes. Now they have them. I've seen capsules, seen all different uh, you know pills and so forth that they have produced. Even gummies, I think they have gummies. But you got to be careful exactly uh, where the source is. It has to be from tomatoes and so forth. Now, the other thing I want to tell you something about because I thought about this particular food for a while, and it's had a bad rap several times. As people talk about it and say, well, they say they shouldn't consume it. But soy, soy is very important. It's very, very important. It has a chemical called genistein. And what genistein does, it does a lot of things. And they've done a lot of studies on soy to see exactly, whether or not it is something that's helpful, hurtful to cancer. And what they found out is that soy, with this chemical called genistein, it works to prevent cancer cell growth. Yes, it does. It prevents angiogenesis from occurring because when cancer gets in an area, the thing that really keeps it going is rapid production of cancer cells, and the cells begin to produce day and night stops, like a machine, never stops. And then the next thing that happens, once you get a group of cells, you need to get supply. It's like you build a house, right? You build a house, then the next thing you want to do is to figure out, well, where's the electricity coming from? Where's the water coming from? You know. So soy prevents the next process, the cancer activity, which is angiogenesis. Angiogenesis basically is like the plumbing system for the cancer cells. It's the blood vessels, and genistein prevents that from happening. And the next thing the genistein does, or one of the next things that it does, is inhibit the metastasis. So those cells, while they are produced in that location, they cannot move to another location because genistein inhibits that process. So it's important. It's very interesting that this chemical prevents, kills cancer cells, so that they will not be able to proliferate and move and go to another area. And that's a good thing, you know. And that's a food that you can use, soy. So we've just mentioned we mentioned the berries, mentioned it has the allergic acid. We mentioned also the tomatoes, which has the lycopenes, and we mentioned the soy, which has genistein. Another thing, another food that is good, you use it a lot, but you're not even aware that it has properties to fight cancer. It's garlic. Yeah, garlic. It has a chemical called S-allele, and that is a cancer fighting food. It fights cancer, acts sometimes as an antibiotic, and it does a lot of, a lot of harm to the cancer. And then I remember there's another chemical called glutathione. Glutathione is found in green leafy vegetables. So eat a lot of green leafy vegetables. Glutathione also kills cancer cells. Oh, Dr. Joe's back. All right.
Yeah, but don't stop. Just
I can,
continue.
I can
Just
carry.
continue.
I can give the steering wheel back over to you.
No, 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 no. Just continue. Just continue. I am just
Yeah,
gonna listen and then
and
comment if I need to.
yeah. So I was talking about actually mentioning some foods that very simple foods that we're not even aware of, or some of us maybe. I spoke about the berries. The berries have allergic acid, which it kills cancer cells. It allows them to fight amongst themselves and deteriorate and consume
They
themselves.
destroy each other.
Yeah. And the other thing is the tomato with lycopenes, and lycopenes help to suppress cancer growth. The other thing I talk about, which you you know, because I think we had over the years a conversation about they were trying to say that soy is no good. But what they found out when they did the studies is that it has a chemical called genistein, and this genistein, what it does, it prevents rapid cell growth in the cancer cells, which is something good. It prevents angiogenesis, preventing blood vessels from, the cells, cancer
Mhm.
cells rapidly proliferate, and they try to build themselves up.
Try to become aggressive.
Yeah, they are
Yeah, yeah.
multiply rapidly, and then like give an example like a house. You build a house, and then the next thing you want to figure out is, well, where the current is coming from. Which hopefully you've done that before. You know exactly where everything is coming from, and then you have a plumbing. You have to have the plumbing. So what this genistein does, it prevents the growth of blood vessels, angiogenesis, you know, because of the tumor or the cancer needs to have a blood supply source.
Mhm. Mhm.
This genistein prevent prevent the cancer cells from having angiogenesis from occurring. And the next thing that the genistein does is it causes inhibition of metastasis. So the
Right,
cells that are
right.
there cannot move anywhere else. It just keeps them locked in there. You know, so they're foods that natural foods that we can use, and also I talked about garlic, which has a S allele cysteine, and that is it keeps fighting against. So we have it's just a couple of simple foods doing big things for us. And one other thing I want to mention is that foods, because you worry about what you're going to eat because what you've eaten in the past is brought to where you are now.
Right.
So it's important that we eat food in its natural state. Natural state. Eat colorful vegetables because, and your colon loves it. It keeps everything flushed.
Moving.
Yeah, yeah. And it's important to observe this fact about whenever you buy vegetables or fruits. I mean, I have a story to tell you because if the fruit does not sprout after it's been sitting there for a while, don't eat it. I bought some apples like 3 months ago, and they looked as though they just came out from the store. Now, should I eat that?
They look now like if they just came out of the store.
Yes, and I bought it 3 months ago.
You
They're
sure they're apples or you sure they're real apples or artificial apples?
they're real apples. They're real apples, and that's what they're saying. If you buy something and you bought it like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks, whatever the time is,
Still looking good.
it looks like you just don't eat it. Don't eat it because there's some chemicals in there.
That's keeping it young.
Yeah, that's going to preserve you.
Exactly. And the chemical today is going to hurt you.
It's going to hurt you. Get you ready for the other place. And the other thing that they mentioned that is important. I mean, the consultants, the dietitians, they recommend that when you have a diagnosis of cancer, go to the supermarket, stay in the perimeter. Don't go inside. The foods on the outside, like the vegetable areas and all of where the live food, eat live foods. Those are the foods you should eat. Once you go in to the aisle, you're dealing with stuff with a whole lot of preservatives that are not good for you.
Exactly. Exactly. It's good that you mentioned those things because maybe it's good that we had the block out there so you could mention what you mentioned because people need to know how to shop for the conditions that they have.
Yeah, yeah,
They need to know how to buy for what is wrong with them. And
yeah,
not if you keep buying the same things all the time and you keep getting sick, it means that you need to change how you're shopping.
yeah,
You change the area in the supermarket that you go because wherever you're going is giving you trouble.
yeah. You.
So and the other thing is that you need to detoxify your body system.
That's right.
Those chemicals, those bacteria, those viruses, those funguses, they need to be purged out of your system because many of them can remain and take on a life again.
Yep. Yeah,
You see, so people need to get into the habit of cleaning their bodies like they clean their homes.
yeah, yeah. Like you clean your refrigerator. Well, some people don't clean the refrigerator.
Some people don't. Some people don't.
That's how I found those apples. And they look as though they came. I bought them yesterday,
They look that way.
and I knew I bought them 3 or 4 months before.
Wow.
So we got to be careful with the foods. There's a lot of genetically modified foods
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
I've heard, and people from good sources that they are tumor causing foods.
I learned something today. I mean, I learned something every day, but today was very strange. I screened and treated a gentleman who he's been at sea on fishing vessels over 20 years.
Mm.
And he said to me today, he said, Doc, I'll tell you something that you're not going to believe me. I said, no, if whatever you tell me, I believe it. It's not because I know you're going to be telling me the truth. He said, "Did you ever know that there's a fish that's poisonous?"
Mm.
I said, "Well, I know there are lots of things that are poisonous, but I never really know a fish to be poisonous."
Mm.
This is what they caught one the other day. They caught one the other day, and he liked this fish so much that he told the guys that he's gonna take this fish home.
What?
This fish can stay alive for days without being in the water. Yes. He said he had this fish on deck in the boat for days and it wouldn't die.
Mm.
Yeah. So he told the guys he's going to take it home. He's going to bring it home and he's going to cook it and make soup with it. And the guy said to him, "Don't you dare
Mm.
to die. That fish is poisonous."
Yeah.
Yeah, he said the fish is very colorful. It looks like one of those aquarium fish.
Mm.
Big, it's a big one though, big fish, but it looks like aquarium. It has many colors.
Wow.
So I told him, I said, "You take a picture and get it to me. I want to see that." When he took it out of the water, I mean, it was reflecting. The colors it was so colorful. He said,
Mm.
but the guys told him on the boat. He says, "If you cook that fish, it's going to kill
You
you."
die.
See,
It's like it looked like the coral snake. Yeah.
I guess,
Red, yellow, kill the feather.
yeah. He said, here's the funny thing he said. He said to me, and we don't have much time left.
We passed the time.
He said to me, after all those hours or days that he had that fish there, he threw it back in the water. He said he had the fish there over what, I don't know how many hours. He
Wow.
threw the fish back in the water,
And it swam.
and the fish moved a couple of times, floated a couple of times, and then it just swam away.
Wow.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's scary.
It's scary.
That's on that note, I have to say so long.
Well,
Thanks for holding in there. Thanks for being on the program. I know we're doing a lot of teaching. We don't take any calls, but we're doing a lot of teaching. And hopefully soon enough we'll take some calls when people have enough questions and answer them. But persons need to know that they need to take care of themselves. We are available, we can screen them. The clinic is in Kitty. We have a website. All of the information is available on the website, healthandwellnesscentergy.com, healthandwellnesscentergy.com. And if you need an appointment, then of course you can call us at 231-6477, and you can make an appointment there, and we'd be happy to see what we can do to help. Dr. Richard, I want to thank you for participating and for hanging in there, and I appreciate your support.
oh, you're welcome anytime. Anytime.
On this note, we're going to say so long until we see each other again. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
Bye-bye. I'll
Looking
see you
for a
later, right?
place for the whole family? Come down to the Toucan Mall in Amelia's Ward, Linden. It's the mall that has it all. We have great food, a relaxing atmosphere, and activities for all ages. Tennis, swimming, and a playground. But the fun doesn't stop after dark. There's even a bar and an arcade. And if you aren't ready to go home yet, we've even got a spacious room for your comfort, complete with air conditioning, Wi-Fi, and a private bathroom. The Toucan Mall can also facilitate your events in our spacious conference hall. We also have a theater with films for the entire family. It's the Toucan Mall located in Amelia's Ward, Linden.